Education, so I will take any offers of nominations for anybody.
I'd like to nominate Joelle Richardson.
Okay, we have a nomination here. Jen has nominated Joelle. Do we have a second? Bev? Okay. Any further discussion? Any other nominations? Okay. We'll take a vote then. All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay, 8-0 in favor. Congratulations, Joelle.
Joelle Richardson, from 117 Hampton Drive, Johnstown, New York, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Board of Education Vice President according to the best of my ability.
All right, very good. So, appointment of officers. First would be the Superintendent of Schools, Administration of Oath of Office. Dr. Crankshaw, are you ready?
I am ready. I, William Crankshaw, 601 South William Street, Johnstown, New York, please swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Superintendent of Schools according to the best of my ability.
All right, thank you. That's all that's required?
You signed in advance.
Okay. So, next on the agenda is the appointment of the school district clerk. Need a motion for, okay. Thank you, Mark. Second by Bev, thank you. To appoint Lorena Carpenter as the school district clerk of the Greater Johnstown School District for the 2022-23 school year. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye. All those opposed? Okay, 8-0.
I, Lorena Carpenter, of 494 Albany Bush Road, Johnstown, New York, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of District Clerk according to the best of my ability.
Okay, so we've got two more individual appointments here, and then we'll get into some larger blocks of approvals and such. So, number 3, under Part C, appointment of school district treasurer and chief accounting officer. Can I have a motion to appoint Stephen Soto as the school district treasurer and chief accounting officer of the Greater Johnstown School District for the 2022-23 school year?
Jen.
Jen? Can I have a second? Joelle? Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Ron, did you?
Oh, yeah, you want to put, you didn't see it.
Okay, in favor. Okay, so 8-0. Next is the appointment of school district deputy treasurer. I'd like a motion to appoint Melissa Baker as the school district deputy treasurer of the Greater Johnstown School District for the 2022-23 school year, and no additional compensation, and authorizing the bonding of the school district deputy treasurer. Can I have a motion? Art? And a second? Joelle? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Okay, 8-0, approved. Okay, now, Lorraine, as I understand this agenda, these are basically blocks of approvals. We don't have to go through each item.
Correct.
So we treat it kind of like a consent agenda?
Correct.
Okay. So in that case, as we will be looking at an initial 40 items under segment D, under annual appointments, assuming everyone's had a chance to see the agenda in advance, does anyone have any reason to pull any particular item out of this agenda?
I can remember we had a meeting all of them.
Okay, so if there's no reason to pull any out, then what I would do is ask for a motion to approve items D, 1 through 40 as seen on the agenda. Okay, for the motion, do I have a second? Ron? Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, unanimous. All right, so we will be going on to page 12, I believe. Yep. Paragraph E, designations. This encompasses items 1 through 6. Can I get a motion to approve items E1 through E6 as shown in your agenda, which would include designation of signature authority of superintendent, designation of depositories for school district funds, designation of day and time for regular board meetings, establish time and location for annual budget vote, designation of newspaper for official notices, and designation of media sites to announce emergency closing and or delay announcements. Art. Thank you, Art. Okay. Second, Bev? Okay, any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor? 8 opposed. Opposed? Okay. All right, so the next page, page 13, paragraph F, authorizations. There are 22 items included, items F1 through F22. Can I have a motion to approve? Ron? Second? Will? Okay. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, 8. Any opposed? Next page is page 16. Paragraph G, general grouping of other items. So this would incorporate items G1 through G16. Can I have a motion to accept?
I would like to separate out 14 and 15. 14 and 15.
All right, so item 14 is the NYSED construction contract for Wheelerville Union Free School District students in grades 9 through 12, and New York State SED construction contract for Pasico Common School District students in grades 9 through 12. So we will review and vote on each of those separately. Okay. All right, so as amended, we will exclude items, what did you say, 14 and 15? Yep. And so the motion as amended, we got a second on that, right? Do we have a second on that yet?
Motion.
Did we motion? Oh, all right, got ahead of myself. Can I have a motion for the amended approval?
Yes.
Okay, can I have a second? Joel, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, it's a unanimous vote. All right, so for item 14, item 14 stipulates, this is the instruction contract for Wheelerville. Motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to enter into a New York State Department of Education instruction contract with Wheelerville Union Free School District commencing July 1st, 2022, whereby all or part of the children of school age in grades 9 through 12 residing in the Wheelerville School District shall be entitled to be taught in the Greater Johnstown School District, and the Wheelerville Union Free School District shall pay tuition in the sum of $2,550 for each such child so admitted into the Greater Johnstown School District for the 2022-23 school year. Tuition rates for Wheelerville students in grades 9 through 12 are pursuant to an agreement between the district as executed on February 8th, 2021 for the period 2022 through 2026. Okay, can I have a motion to accept that item? Bev? Second? Jen? Okay, any further discussion?
I would like to discuss why I asked for it to be separated out.
Okay,
All right, I cannot willingly vote for the taxpayers to be footing the bill for students to come that are not residents.
okay,
And they're not paying the full rate on what it's costing the taxpayers for these children to come to our schools.
okay. So I would ask, Mr. Crankshaw, can you elaborate a bit more on the framework for the tuition cost listed in this agenda?
Sure. For Wheelerville, it is a partnership, and as everybody knows, I think that Wheelerville students feed into Johnstown High School. So in many ways, I think the district over many years has considered them part of the district, and they will be our students. And so we take that into account. And it has been in a contract established. We actually raised the price in 2021. And we can certainly look at raising it again. We currently have a contract, a 5-year contract at that rate. So we would have to break that contract and renegotiate it. And, frankly, I know other school districts would offer potentially a more competitive rate if we were to go at a full amount. So, it's a matter of, asking the school district to break the contract and renegotiate. But it has been a partnership that is traditional between Johnstown and Wheelerville. We do hope to have them continue to feed their students through, Johnstown. We wouldn't like them to go to Clarksville, for example, or another school. They have their choice of being in school districts.
So, and an additional cost to the taxpayers.
Well, I don't know, Alicia, do you want to comment on that additional cost?
So, I just think with the cost of tuition, the state does come up with an estimated cost of tuition based on our financials. But again, we're showing our enrollment inclusive of the Wheelerville students that feed into our high school for purposes of 9th through 12th education. So again, I don't think we can say that there's a direct tax impact by those students attending our schools. It's a little bit different of a relationship when they feed into our high school enrollment.
Bottom line is the district is still paying for these students, the non-residents. And they're not even half of what the state says we should be charging. Specifically in the grade 7 through 12, which is where they are.
Wheelerville students come to us after 8th grade.
Right, which is like 7 through 12, which is $5,800 per year is what we should be charging for New York State.
Okay, we'll see if we can. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Okay, I just got notification that Dr. Crankshaw, where he's located, just ran out of, just had a power outage. So he lost connection. Alicia, are you still on the line?
I am. We could certainly give a cost analysis for these students, but because they join us after 8th grade, Wheelerville not supporting 9th and 12th, they are built into our enrollment that we do report to the state for state aid purposes as well. We can always provide a more in-depth analysis for the board based on our schools for the high school education.
So I just want to make sure.
But point taken.
Sorry, Alicia. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding this correctly. If the students were not to come to Johnstown, then that could potentially impact the amount of aid that we receive from the state ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, the state will accept them to both. Millerville's a little bit different, is that they are, technically they're non-resident students because they live in the Wheelerville district of origin.
Right.
But because they have to attend another district for their high school education, they are counted in our calculation of high school enrollment and in some of the state aid formulas for calculating how many pupils we educate in terms of the factor that they use for state aid purposes. And again, I mean, like Dr. Crankshaw mentioned, we've been in this new agreement that I believe was approved back in February of 2021 with a 5-year agreement. So, I mean, we could always go back to the district and renegotiate a higher rate based on the estimated tuition rates when the contract is up. But we just entered this agreement, looks like a little over a year ago with them. And at that time, the contract price was increased at that time.
How many students are what's the average number of students from 8 through
7 through 12.
9 to 12.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 7 through 12.
Okay.
How many students are we talking about approximately?
Lorena, would you know that based on the data that's reported in school tool? I think it's about, is it a dozen students?
I don't
On
know off
average?
the top of my head. They don't have very large class sizes in Wheelerville, so I can't imagine that it's a whole lot.
And that's per grade or 7 and 12 total?
I would say per grade is probably less than 20.
Right.
Yeah.
And they provide their own transportation, don't they, or am I? So we're not going to be providing transportation. Yes, we will be taking a little bit of, the tuition will be lesser than for somebody coming outside.
That's less than 50%.
Yeah, but they have a choice of, would you rather have them go to Loversville and have our aid decrease?
Yes, if they can't, at least pay what the taxpayers are paying for them.
If they don't have, so we're going to hold them, they either have to pay what somebody else is paying who has a potential, just staying out here, like if I was to go to Mayfield, where Mayfield offers a high school, but yeah, I'm going to a school that doesn't offer that opportunity to go someplace. You're gonna hold me almost to the same standards as somebody who has that choice automatically instead of
What standard does that have to do with Johnstown? I mean, these aren't even our residents. Like, what does it have to do with Johnstown and the Johnstown taxpayer?
we're rendering the service, public service.
But to who? But they're not even Johnstown people. They're not they're not taxpayers. They're not taxpayer children.
And we're gonna.
They're not taxpayers, but they're not paying their fair share.
I think,
So I think historically, they have been part of our district. We've always considered them part of our school.
All right, so what I'm going to suggest is, at this point, we maybe move this to the Finance and Audit Budget Committee discussion. Because I think some of your questions have, there's some deeper historical information that needs to be mined and maybe some implications that can't be resolved in the context of this meeting. So I think what I'd like to do is call the vote on this item, and I'm going to speculate that the second item is along the same lines. So would you object to us voting on both items at the same time, noting that your objections are?
Yes, okay.
Okay, all right. So could I have a motion to accept items 14 and 15 as presented in the agenda? Bev, can I have a second? Okay. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, 7-1. Thank you for the discussion.
No, it's okay.
Okay, just as an FYI, Dr. Frank Shaw is still having trouble connecting. He was going to try to call into the number for the Google Meet, but I don't know if that'll work for him or not. So we shall see. So this brings us, I believe, brings us to the last page, page 20 of 20. Section 3, action items, business. So the first order of business is the approval of the prior board meeting minutes. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes from the June 16th meeting? Bev, second? Marge, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Okay, good. 8 of. Text Dr. Crenshaw. Next item is the first reading, waiver of second reading, and adoption of revised policy 5330. Is the recommendation of the superintendent for first reading, waiver of second reading, and adoption of the following revised policy retroactive July 1st, 2022. Policy being for budget transfers, which should have been included in everyone's packet. So do I have a motion to accept? Art? Jen, second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Okay. Unanimous? Okay. Section 4, items, action items, personnel. This is for the probationary appointment of Matt Lewis as assistant principal. And I have, let's see, to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the probationary appointment of Matthew Lewis as assistant principal in the administrator tenure area at an annual salary of $87,000 prorated effective August 15th, 2022 through August 14th, 2025, pursuant to the Johnstown Administrators Association collective bargaining agreement. Beth, can I have a second?
Jen.
Will, second. So, any further discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous vote.
Mr. Lewis is here.
So, Mr. Lewis, congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Okay, on to section 5, board discussion. We all have a annual conflict of interest form in your packet of information that was provided to you this evening. I would ask that we each fill these out and give them to Lorena before we leave. That way she doesn't have to chase us down later to take care of it. Okay, so next item, board committees for 2022-23. So we've set up the following assignments. So academic and extracurricular committee will be Marjorie Klein, Jennifer Sponable, and Ronald Beck. The audit, budget, and finance committee will be David Demore, Arthur Strum, and Marjorie Klein. Facilities will be David Demore, Arthur Strum, and William Stock. Personnel will be Beverly Elves, William Stock, and Joy L. Richardson. Any objections to these assignments?
Can the president be a member of these committees?
Yes, they have in the past.
Yeah, the president is an ex officio member of all the committees.
Yeah, right, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So, but yeah, typically the president is involved with the committees.
Chris was last year.
Yep.
Yeah, but he could go to, president could go to any meeting
Yeah, and I would be able to as well.
and vote.
I believe so, yeah.
You don't vote, committees don't vote.
Well, right.
Committees are-
It can be part of the discussion.
Yeah. He can be part of the discussion.
So as long as there is not, it doesn't create a quorum, you can be part of the discussion. So, this year you're an 8-member board, so quorum's 5, so you don't ever want to have 5 board members participating in a discussion at a committee meeting, or it becomes kind of a de facto board meeting. You could have 5 there for having a discussion and 1 listening in but not participating. But that'd be careful about that. Somebody's going to jump in.
Yeah. Okay. Third item under board discussion, BOE representative to the district-wide safety committee for 2022-23. Art, you have been nominated for that position. Willing to do that? Okay, thank you. Item 4 is BOE representative to the district-wide wellness committee for 2022-23. Joelle, comfortable with that? Okay. BOE representative to the Professional Learning Committee for 2022-23. Beth? Okay, good, thank you. We have school ambassadors for 2022-23 to assign for Pleasant Avenue, Warren Street, and Johnstown Junior Senior High School. I would maybe ask if there are any particular volunteers for a particular school first.
Volunteer for Warren?
Okay. Any other volunteers?
I'll stay with Warren.
Warren?
Yes.
High school. I'll take Pleasant.
All right, thank you. Put you at Pleasant.
Put me wherever you need me.
Okay. And Joelle, did you have a preference? Okay. Yeah, I'll put you at high school. I'll kind of float between Pleasant and Warren. Okay, so just a few points of information. July 28th will be the Board of Ed business meeting and retreat starting at 6 o'clock here at Knox. Lorena, will we be in here or will we be upstairs?
I think you will start in here for the meeting, and then you may move upstairs for the retreat.
Okay.
We typically meet upstairs, yeah.
Okay.
For the new board members, that's why
August 16th will be the Academic and Extracurricular Committee at 5:30 here at Knox, upstairs in the formal library. August 16th, Facilities Committee at 6:30 in the library. August 18th, BOE Business Meeting and Capital Outlay Workshop at 6 p.m. here in the auditorium. So, can I have a motion for adjournment?
Actually,
Oh.
I have a question.
Okay.
And there's not another space for other board discussion, but I was just wondering if I had missed something in terms of our self-evaluation from last year, Board of Education self-evaluation. Did we get results on that?
The results were in one of the packets, but you can also, could be a retreat item.
Okay.
We didn't discuss it at the table. The results were in the packet, but it's normally not
I
something
think
we
it
would
might have
discuss.
been a meeting that you missed.
Maybe.
Because it,
Was that the May, June, or May?
yeah, I think it's May.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Right?
Dave, I got one more comment.
Sure.
There's a group of 5th and 6th graders that played the Little League that went through and they won the district from Johnstown. So they beat teams from Johnstown, or from Gloversville, Amsterdam, all the local teams, and they won the district. So congratulations to
All right.
5th and 6th graders.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Dr. Crankshaw, did you have anything to share before we adjourn?
Yep, just quickly, can everybody hear me okay?
Can.
Okay. Just wanted to thank the board for carrying on with the meeting, even though Alicia and I are away. I think it went reasonably well. Of course, the power went out just as a question was being answered. So I look forward to addressing those questions later on to audit, budget, and finance. So thank you for those. And welcome to Matt Lewis, a really nice addition to our school district. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, folks, can I have a motion for adjournment? Art, second? Bev? All right. All those in favor? Unanimous. All right, thank you, everybody. And we will see you on the 28th.
It's a lot faster than the last president.